Dear candidates, a very warm welcome to the YouTube channel of the Green On Academy, which is a defense preparatory academy established in Dehradun, Uttarakhand. In today's video, we'll make an earnest attempt to understand the basics of the thematic appreciation test. The thematic appreciation test is the test conducted by the psychologist during the conduct of SSB interview in SSB centers. So let's begin the basics of the thematic appreciation test. Candidates, in today's session, we'll be covering the very basics of the thematic appreciation test. Candidates, thematic appreciation test is the first test conducted by the psychologist. Thematic appreciation test is a projective psychological test to test the personality of the candidate by way of his imagination. Now this test is also called the imaginative test, wherein ambiguous pictures in terms of their outlines, hazy or blurred or vague pictures are shown to the candidate to stimulate his process of generation of options in various directions. The thematic appreciation test is an attempt by the psychologist to let the candidate have various flights of imagination based on his personality. It's a method of exploring from the person's subconscious mind by stimulating his fantasy and its interpretation by the psychologist. In thematic appreciation tests, the candidate is encouraged to come out with ideas and the inner or the hidden latent material which will not be available to the psychologist to arrive at the candidate's true personality. During the conduct of the test, psychologist has the aim to tap on a candidate's unconscious mind to reveal his repressed aspect of personality, his motives and needs for achievement, the power struggles and the intimacy with the other beings, and his problem solving abilities. These tests were designed by the famous psychologists Morgan and Murray in 1930. Thematic appreciation test has been adopted in the SSB centers and it has been modified to the Indian context. Ladies and gentlemen, let's understand what is the theory behind the conduct of the thematic appreciation test. In thematic appreciation test, the pictures are ambiguous in nature and a candidate is required to construct a story for the ambiguous pictures projected to him. His method of construction of story around these ambiguous pictures arrives from two things. First, from the picture itself, which, as that, the picture gives a stimulus by itself, and by seeing the picture and because of its ambiguous nature, various options comes to the candidate's mind. However, based on his personal experiences with the similar kind of stimulus which he can recall from his past, he makes the choices, and out of the various choices or the options which comes to his mind and recalling his personal experience of the past, he makes a choice in form of an action and writes a story. Gentlemen, for stimulus and response theory in ambit of a candidate's personality, you are requested to watch our video on the response to stimuli and see our video. Candidates, as we have told you earlier, the personality is a sum game of all a candidate's association in his past with his family, the family education background, which includes the education backgrounds of his parents and his siblings. It is often told the birds of the same feather flock together. So friends play a very important role in shaping up one's personality. There are certain good or bad habits which you inculcate from the company where you are in. He also shapes his personality because of his experience in school days and college days in the various sporting and other management events or the activities he has taken part. His personality also gets shaped up by means of what are the kind of problems or the challenges he has faced in life and what were the means to overcome these challenges. So, personality is a sum game, and the response in form of action taken by every individual candidate is based on his personality. As I've told earlier, the thematic appreciation test is a projective test wherein ambiguous pictures are shown to the candidate. Now, in thematic appreciation test, a set of 12 pictures are shown to the candidates, which includes one blank picture, or or it simply means when there is no picture in the slide or in the projection. Each picture in the thematic appreciation test is shown for a duration of 30 seconds, wherein the candidate is supposed to observe the picture very carefully, draw some stimulus out of it, and recalls the same kind of stimulus from his experience of the past, and is supposed to write a plot or a story in a time frame of 4 minutes in the sheet provided by the psychologist. The blank picture, which is generally the last picture, here you are supposed to imagine a picture of your own and write the story in the answer sheet provided by the psychologist without disturbing the sequence of the pictures as projected on the screen. Now, gentlemen, let's come to what is the structure or a characteristic of the plot or the story which a candidate is supposed to write in a time frame of 4 minutes. Therefore, it is safe to assume an average candidate can write 10 to 14 lines about the plot or the story. The overall aim of writing a story for a candidate should be to make an optimistic solution with a positive outlook. Now, coming on to the structure part of the story, the candidate must remember that there are certain essential elements or components of a well constructed story, which can be divided into 3 or 4 parts. The first part deals with what might have led to the situation projected in the picture, wherein you are supposed to just introduce your hero or the central character and briefly describe what is the situation. The second part, what is going on without describing the scene. Third, what is the outcome or impact of the story, which simply says what were the actions taken by the candidate or the central figure or the hero, and how he is able to resolve the problems or the challenges envisaged by him in the scene. Now let's get further. Boys and girls, as we have seen, our story needs to be structured in 3 major parts. First, the introduction, action, and the end result. First, we'll take the introduction. Introduction can be done in 3 to 4 lines, which essentially means identification of the hero, wherein you're not supposed to introduce the hero, but just identify the hero. And hero or the central character is no one else but you. Second, what are the situations or the causes which are leading to what is being projected or perceived by you in the picture? Third, identification of a problem or a challenge in the picture. And it needs to be very specific and practical based on your personality and age and also your social economic background. Second, now in action part, you are supposed to write in 5 to 7 lines. You are supposed to write what is going on the scene without describing the scene. In this part, you are supposed to write what are the actions specific to the problem identified and what all actions or the series of actions which have been performed by hero to resolve the problem. A candidate must break up the action events in 2 to 3 lines, highlighting around 2 to 3 officer-like qualities per story. However, he must keep in mind that the action should be practical and systematic based on his socio-economic card or his personality. The stories should always end with the end result in 2 to 3 lines in terms of what will be the outcome of the problem envisaged. Second, what were the actions taken and what will be the outcome. The candidate should always remember that every story must have a happy ending or a positive outcome due to the hero or the central character's actions. Dear candidates, we'll be dwelling on whatever has been told in great depth in our succeeding videos, and with this we have come to the end of a new beginning for the stage 2 of the thematic appreciation test, wherein we will discuss how the thematic appreciation test works and will be able to substantiate with examples how for the same stimuli in form of a common picture different candidates will give different responses based on their socio-economic background and in turn their personality for the same stimuli. To conclude, I on behalf of Team Greenhound Academy would like to wish you the very best for your forthcoming SSB interview and thank you for being with us. If you like our videos, kindly do subscribe our YouTube channel and Jai Hind.